And the subject of Awaken the Soul is a really fantastic one for me because I work in something I call radical embodiment. So the home for the soul is this right here, and that right there, and this very amazing, miraculous, mysterious thing that we find ourselves in. And so what is it that is living inside of this? We are a miracle. A miracle. And this is one of my practices that I also offer to my clients, but for myself. Whenever I'm feeling out of touch, when I'm feeling ill at ease, when I'm feeling afraid, when I'm feeling worried about the state of the world. Of course, we are sitting inside of one of the biggest moments in the history, I believe, of humanity and this planet. We are like this. So we are all being called to be in this place of, as far as I'm concerned, radical embodiment, so that we can walk forward on this planet as vessels and vehicles of change. Of positive change. There are lots of vessels and vehicles who are absolutely radically embodied behind what we would call or describe as negative change. And honestly, I'm not judging these people. We all have a role to play. But my interest in the thing that I care about the most, number one, humans. I'm madly in love with us. I am, it's a love affair. I love us. I think we are just unbelievably amazing. And so back to the practice. So one of the practices that I do when I'm feeling ill at ease, when I'm feeling uncomfortable, when I'm feeling angry, when I'm feeling sad, and I run a lot of energy like I know all of you do, is this. I just actually extend my palm and I look at my hand and I just notice it. Actually notice the fact that I have two of these. All of us in this room are graced with the reality that we actually have two working hands and arms. Not everyone does have that, but in this room we can say that we do. And the miracle of this thing right here, just this, and it's so easy just to lift it up and say, wait a minute, I have this. I have this body. I'm a human being. I have been given this gift of life, of all of these cells working inside of my body in this mysterious way. I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night and go, wait a minute, heart, are you, is my blood circulating? I've got to be vigilant. Make it all happen. No, this is happening. This thing is happening. You are a miracle. You are a bloody effing miracle. And so with that miraculous thing that we've been given, this amazing form, comes a tremendous responsibility. And I know that I have been feeling the burden of that, and I'm sure you all have too, as awakened beings who are activists in the world, in your own life. You're all wanting growth. You're all wanting change in your life. You're all pushing the edges. You wouldn't be here today if you weren't. I'm sure you're doing a million other things that are so amazing. I would love to find out about all of them. But there's a big responsibility there. And with that can come this feeling of dissemblance. Like, oh my God, there's too much. How do I deal with what's happening? For me personally right now, and I'm sure you're there with me, it's the immigrant issue, the children, being held away from their families. It's so disturbing to me and so disconcerting that I was actually in my own neighborhood. I was sitting in my room meditating, and I was sure that I heard many children in the neighborhood being abused. Okay, now these children were probably just playing in their yards. But I was so focused on this, and what can I do? And I'm a mother, and how do I stop this? So if I had followed that path and continued to dissemble, Well, basically, I know for me, I wouldn't have done a thing. I wouldn't have been able to engage. I wouldn't have been able to make the post that I made, which, listed all of the organizations that we can contribute to, go and actually contribute an amount that I felt, I could give to 2 of these organizations, send this out. I borrowed from this other woman's amazing work and brought that in, and then took apart each thing she had said and put them down below. If I had not remembered, wait a minute, let's ground, let's be in the body. No, you cannot save every child on earth. Be with that feeling. This to me is radical embodiment. When we allow ourselves to land back in our body, wait a minute, my mind was taking me off. Those times when your mind, you're already like at your own funeral, and you're already, something horrible has already happened, and you're actually just sitting in your room having a cup of tea, but you're down the road. So the way that I found, and I was given this teaching honestly by moving up the hill to Nevada City, following a feeling that I had that wasn't a feeling that I had, something that came into me and said, you need to go and study Ayurvedic medicine. What's that? Just go do it. I literally got in the car, went to the California College of Ayurveda, and signed up with money that my great aunt had given me. Just signed up. I really, truly had no idea. And I knew it was Indian. I knew it was, some sort of a study of the body. But I was given an imperative. Get up the hill, go study that, then you'll see what's happening. That introduced me to that area. I drove down Tyler Foot Road on my way to stay at a place that one person in my class decided to do with me. Nobody else did. They all stayed in town. We, the 2 of us, foraged our way up to stay at Ananda. I had no idea what Ananda was. I'd never been there. I didn't know a thing about it. I grew up in San Francisco, to intellectual parents and wild intellectual parents, artists, but it was books and study and the mind. And so here I am traveling down Tyler Foot Road, and as I drove down that road, I said, I'm going to live on this road. Really? Well, you live in Davis, California with your husband and your child, and what are you talking about? So for 2 years I came up and I went to Ayurvedic college. And as I did, all of this growth happened. The Yuba River took me in, and I got out of the Yuba River the first time, and for 4 hours, my entire skeleton was flowing with the river itself, and I mean that literally. I literally felt cold water pouring through my bones the entire day. And I just kept saying yes to whatever came in as an imperative. And what it led me to do was buy a piece of land with nothing on it and no electricity and no running water. Divorced and separated from my husband, moved up with my 5-year-old daughter into a yurt. Had I ever been in a yurt? No. Had I ever lived without running water or electricity? No. Did I know how to build a fire? No. Did I buy a whole pile of green wood and try to build fires with that? Yes. My daughter and I were sleeping in our bed with little skull caps on and sleeping in the same bed in the yurt with 10 quilts on top. Yeah, Mommy's going to learn how to make a fire tomorrow. So this was real. And the reason I had moved to this piece of land was that I also received an imperative that I was to build a cob house. Had I ever built anything? I think you know the answer. Ever. I grew up in San Francisco. So I was led to build a cob house. Cob is earth. It's a house made of clay. What is more earthing and grounding than building a house with your hands and feet, and I mean literally bare feet and bare hands, than building a hand-built house out of cob? So God literally came in and radically embodied me. And as I shared earlier, I've always seen spirits and ghosts and heard voices from the time I was very small, but I didn't know how to embody that. And I was sharing again with somebody else, we can go up and out, up and out, up and out, and up and out into the cosmos. And where are we? We can't be very effective. We're out in the cosmos. We are not rooted, we are not grounded, so we cannot translate the information that comes in and actually share it and make change on the planet. And I don't know about you, but for me right now, that is the most important thing. And if it means just one person, If I cannot solve this issue right now of all these children, because I can't. I certainly can't do it alone, and it's certainly not a job any one person can do by themselves. But if I'm not grounded, if I'm not solid, if I'm not rooted in this right here below us, the mother, this planet, Earth, then I'm not going to be a very effective person on this planet. So radical embodiment for me came in that way. And it came in a natural way. I was given an initiation. The land herself initiated me into this reality that I am also of this earth. You know, I grew up in a city, so I certainly wasn't running around barefoot. And I learned, I am of this earth. This is my mother. I learned how to walk in the dark. I was terrified of the dark. I saw ghosts all the time, so the dark was I literally took myself out of my house at night, particularly under the full moon, and I would walk around my land naked. Okay, was I naked in San Francisco walking around? No. You know, this I was sort of surprising myself. I'm like, okay, lady, wow. You know, and I'm walking on the earth of my land, trying to learn to walk in the dark. Who told me? Nobody told me. My own body was guiding me. The earth was guiding me. God above was guiding me, and I learned how to walk in the dark. First few times, I walked right into pine trees. There are lots of great stories, like the time I went outside to pee, and on the ground, because I didn't have an actual toilet yet. And some sort of creature came up, and I thought it was my dog, and I went, oh, hi, Lordy, and it was like, and it was a crazy opossum, and I jumped straight up in the air, and ran. So there were all kinds of those kinds of experiences as I learned how to be in a new way of engaging with myself and with life and with the earth. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody go and take all your clothes off and take all your, go out and build a cob house. Okay, I've since sold the property. It was an amazing place to raise my daughter. It was an incredible experience. It was a life-changing experience, but it gave me radical embodiment. So this is something that I offered to people one-on-one and in circles, but it's not me offering it. It is just me reflecting for years it's been just women, but now I'm inviting men in as well because I feel that that's important. But this thing about, let's remember, particularly for us as women, that we have this thing called a womb space. Now, even if we've had that removed, we still have this origin space in our bodies called the womb space. Every human being on earth came out of a womb. Every single one. Donald Trump, the Pope, every child, man, woman, everyone came from a womb. This is, as far as I'm concerned, the source of our strength, our wisdom, and for men, the Dantian, the same center, the same power center. There's a reason that for thousands of years, martial artists have been talking about stay in your Dantian, find power in your Dantian. For me, it's this rooting also down and into the earth. So I use a lot of different practices with people to allow this connection to start happening again. I'm sure all of you are already feeling, you're maybe already doing practices that help you to connect with the earth. One of them for me is literally just taking off the shoes. And actually, you've probably heard of grounding and being outside in the earth. But when you're inside, to take your shoes off and actually start to recognize, oh, wait a minute, I'm connected to, right below this floor of this building is our mother. She gives us everything. She gave us the materials for this building. She gave us the materials for our clothing. She gave us our food, etc. So to access that and to pay respect, but also to connect when you're feeling ungrounded. And there are many reasons to feel ungrounded right now. Many, many, many reasons. And many things pulling us toward that place of helplessness. I'm not going to get into a discussion about whether that's on purpose or not. It almost doesn't matter. The fact is it's happening, and yet you are all miracles. You are all beings of light. You are all positive forces, important people on this earth right now. You are so important. What you think, what you feel, and what you say is incredibly important. You might think, oh, I'm not reaching a lot of, tons of people. You might have just reached that person at the store when you actually stopped and looked at them in the eye and let them know in some way that you appreciated them. And that comes from a place of embodiment, because if we're so whacked out, we can hardly connect, we just don't, we're not able to connect with others and to really go, hey, wait a minute, sounds like you're not having a great day, what's going on? That little tiny thing, what's going on, how are you? That actually can and does. I've had people send me, just one example, a woman sent me an email from Germany. I have a mailing list and I send out a weekly, I used to, I've taken a little break, but a letter to my people, sort of just talking and sharing and uplifting and inspiring and loving. She'd been listening for a couple of years. She got some things on YouTube, and she wrote to me and said, I want you to know that you and your voice and what you've shared with me has been a light in the darkness. I've been in a deep and profound depression. I felt suicidal. I don't know how I started receiving your newsletters, and I started reading them, and I want to send you a painting I made, because I have not ever painted, and I thought I was going to kill myself. And she sent me a shot of a beautiful painting that she had created with bright colors, vibrant, alive. I have never met this woman. I did not know her. And I thought, okay, this is it. This is what we have to remember. The ripples that we create are real. The words we speak are powerful. We've had words spoken over us all of our lives. They say that in various churches. I didn't grow up in a church, but I'm very, very into a particular quality of preaching, that comes from black culture. Actually, I go to a black church in Oakland. Speaking over us is a powerful thing. So it's now our time to actually step back into our bodies. Wait a minute, this is mine. Nobody tells me what to do with my body. Women, men alike, of course. This is ours. This is our vessel. This is our vehicle. It's an honor to be in this body. It is a blessing. And with it, of course, again, the responsibility. But when we start uniting together and joining together and remembering each other, when our sisters, brothers are starting to feel a little wobbly, hey, wait a minute. Touch with the body. When you're feeling wobbly and alone at 3 or 4 in the morning, actually sitting down on the ground as close to the earth as you can get. If you can go outside, sit and say, hey, I need help. Remember me to myself. I would go outside and dig my fingers into the earth and say, help me remember myself. And it was pretty much right away I would feel better. So one of the practices I do and guide people in is this rooting into the earth. And I would love to do it with you if you're open to just having a little moment of guided meditation. Yeah? So if I can move that, because I feel like it's between us. So if you can just close your eyes down and just allow yourselves to settle. Just be in your seat as you feel comfortable. And just allow your eyes to close down, just for a moment. We spend a lot of time with our eyes open. We take in a lot of information from screens. We take in a lot of information from other people. So right now, just close your eyes down. Allow yourself to actually be in presence with your own body. Okay, with yourself right here in this room. Just track a little bit. Go inside and feel. Is there some tension? Is there something rising in my body? Has there been a sore spot? Has there been a place that I didn't want to move? Just feel your body. Just feel the weight of yourself on the chair. Feel the fact that this chair is actually supporting you. And yes, this chair also came from the body of the mother. Metal, all of these pieces of this chair came out of her body. So you are sitting on your mother. Below you, the floor. Feel your feet on the floor. If you feel to take your shoes off, go ahead. Feel your feet connected to the earth below this floor. And I'm going to invite you to actually feel the resonance of the earth. We know that there is an actual resonance. There's a song that the earth sings, literally. There's a sound current, there's a vibration. And then there is this thing called gravity. We're not flying off the earth. She's holding us in place in conjunction with the mystery, with the cosmos. It's a yin-yang, it's a give-take between the cosmos and the earth. We're spinning in space right now. Is that a miracle or what? It's incredible. What's happening? This is amazing. So feel yourself grounded into the earth. Feel her rising up to meet you. If you can't literally feel it, just call in the energy internally and ask her to meet you. You're always grounded in her, always. There's never a time when you're not. It's just this is us being on purpose with it. And as you do that, allow a root to drop down from your body and to drop into her body, to plug in, just like an old school radio. In order to receive the electricity that the radio needs in order to make the beautiful songs, or the dissonant ones, we first need to plug in the radio. So you're going to plug yourself in with this root. Find the access point for yourself inside her body. And let that root drop down below all those layers, through all those layers, not below, through. Decomposed granite, crystal, waterways, roots, gold, silver. Decomposed bones of animals and of our ancestors. Everything's taken back into her body. So plug all the way in and let this root go all the way down to the center of her body. And in that place you can find a red eminence, like lava. And just plug right in, dip right in. You've crossed paths with your sisters and brothers who are also plugging in. And just find that access point and just allow some of that red to come up that root, all the way up that root, past again through all of those layers of her body, right out through the surface of the earth. It's coming right up your root and right into your body, this red grounding. Red, the color of blood, the color of life itself. The sangre. Feel this red just entering your body and grounding you. Decide that you are going to be grounded with her. Okay, everything is a choice. We are a choosing being. Everything is a choice, everything. So right now you can choose to be connected with the earth. You can choose to access the power, the resonance, and the support that she offers. So you can choose that, and you can invite that, and just feel the connection in your body. And now you can pull out the antenna from the top of your head and access the cosmos. So like the radio, pull your antenna out from the top of your head, but from a rooted, plugged-in place. There's no point in pulling your antenna out if you're not grounded. You're not going to be able to tune your radio, and you're not going to hear anything. Or you might hear a lot of crazy, crazy static, just radio waves flying in, but with no holding place. So you're the holding place, you're the radio, you're the tuning fork. So just drop into that, let yourself feel what you feel right now. And then just calling yourself back. You're already in the room, of course, but just calling your awareness back into your body, into your space here, feeling grounded, rooted, plugged in. The plugged in part never changes. It's always that way, but you've now on purpose decided to access that. And I'm just going to count 3 to 1, and just being right here in this room. When I've come to 1, I would like to invite you just to very slowly open your eyes. You might want to just sort of touch your body before you open your eyes. And after I come to 1 and you've arrived home, I want you just to find a person, somebody you haven't talked to yet. And I would like you to share, each of you, 1 first, just complete silence and receiving on the part of the listener. Just witnessing, listening, letting this person actually share, being in presence. Share what it is that you are committed to. And just allow that to be, you might not know, it might be something new that arises when you actually start speaking. Trust that. And then shift and listen to the other person share with you what they are committed to, and give total presence. So 3, coming into clarity, awareness. 2, being prepared to allow whatever comes in to come in. 1, letting your eyes gently open and just, you can shake, you can, just be here. And then find a person that you haven't sat with, you haven't spoken to yet, and just each of you just, yeah. So that's really what I had to share. But it's an ongoing conversation, obviously. I'm not just sort of like, I'm radically embodied now. Everything's done. It's a constant negotiation with my old. We all have the old storyline, the old script. So the old script, of course, wants to come in on the regular and tell me things like, who do you think you are? And I'm now answering instead of just going, it's, well, I think I'm a strong, powerful woman. I think I'm a writer. I know I'm a writer. And start to answer it. So these old scripts that come in that were spoken over you, typically, as little children, we're not walking around going, who do you think you are, to ourselves? You're too big for your britches. You're 2 years old. No, that doesn't happen. So it's being spoken over us. So we have to remember, are these my words? Is this me? Is this me speaking to myself? Maybe not. So we can actually actively answer them. I speak out loud all the time. I mean, people may think I'm completely mad. I really don't care. So I'm talking out loud all the time. Hey, no. Literally. Like, no, not in here. I'm sorry. I've done enough with you. Like, that's it. So we can actively embody our own new body. And so we build our new body with the words, with the thoughts, with the deeds that we are engaging in on a minute-to-minute basis. You talked about vigilance, that can start feeling really burdensome. Like, I've got to be perfect every minute. There's a moment when you're just like, fuck it. And that's radically embodied. If that's true for you, like, no, I've had enough. I'm going outside. I'm going to go have a glass of wine with my friends. That's what I need. That's radically embodied right now. Does drinking an entire bottle alone and then another one, is that radically embodied? I can say for sure for me, no, that isn't. But as we start to clear the path and clear the way of the words that are spoken over us, and we start to understand, no, that's not me, then we can hear better. So grounding, doing that grounding practice every morning is pretty much just a part of my life. And if I get out of whack, I do it in the car. I'm like, whoops. I was living in New York City for 4 months. It was like, route down while I'm in the subway. Yep, that route's really long. It moves with the train. And that way I can be in presence with all of these people around me. We're not talking, but I can actually then look and see all these people that I'm with. Oh, I'm with all these people from all over the world in this train. These are my family. We may not be talking, but I want to be here with them. So that helps me a lot, is that rooting in, saying hello, hey, I need your help, I need some support. When I can get down in the dirt, digging the fingers in and going, yeah, I need a little extra right now. Okay, so that's what I have to offer you today. This is what is important to me. It's what I care about. It's what I love, and that is you and all the other yous all over the planet. So may we all bring this amazing radical embodiment, this amazing miracle, this amazing gift, and share it in some way every day. Just little ways, big ways, medium ways, just a little bit every day. But first start with yourself, please. I beg of you, start with yourself. Start with that loving of oneself that was so displayed in your journaling. You know, really paying attention to how you're feeling. Giving it some time, giving it some space. If you need to cry, cry. Let yourself feel your feelings. Then you can go out and navigate and do something for somebody else. Okay? So thank you so much for being here and being in presence, and I really appreciate all of you so much.